Hi guys, it's Mickey here, and in this video I'm gonna just talk about the tattoos that I have and the meanings behind them. To start, I'll talk about how since I was like 16 I kind of knew that I wanted to get tattoos, and I used to talk about it with my mom and my sisters, like I'm gonna get tattoos when I grow up, and everyone's just like, yeah, cool, whatever. But when I turned 18 and I got my first tattoo, all of them really freaked out because they were like, what? We didn't think you'd actually do it. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I've been talking about it since I was 16. Like, why would I say that and not actually do it? But, yeah, well, I turned 18 and I was like, oh, I haven't gotten a tattoo yet. And I've been saying I wanted to get a bunch of tattoos. So I kind of just, like, booked an appointment with, like, whatever nearby tattoo shop was, like, near my college. And was like, man, like, I have this appointment now. Like, I gotta think about what I even want to get. I don't even know. So I tried to get something that was, like, small and just something that was probably going to be, like, SpongeBob related, because SpongeBob is my favorite show and I'm, like, low-key obsessed. So I was like, it's gotta be something cute, though. So I decided on a jellyfish, just because I wanted, like, a first tattoo and I wanted something, like, relatively small and easy. So I got just a black and white, just SpongeBob jellyfish. And the reason for getting that tattoo was, one, I just wanted to get my first tattoo done with. And two, was because I know SpongeBob means a lot to me. And the real message behind this jellyfish was, like, just thinking about how when I look at this tattoo, when I think about SpongeBob, it just reminds me of, like, my childlike spirit and how it's okay to live in that childlike spirit often. So I felt like growing up I was judged a lot for being very weird and wacky and not really caring what people thought of me and just acting like a child all the time. And that's just who I am, and that's what made me the most happy. And I just remember getting a lot of judgment for that as a kid. And it was just a reminder that it's okay for me to act that way because that's what makes me the most happy. And that's just what that tattoo means to me, that it's okay to act very childlike and free-spirited. And then I have a second tattoo that's SpongeBob's little work hat. And the reason I got this tattoo was because growing up, I grew up in a really small town. So everyone I went to, like, elementary school with, I went to high school with, and there's only one school, so we all went to the same school together. And I used to have this SpongeBob pillow pet, and he had the little hat, and I would take it to school with me every day, and I would just carry it around school. And this is, like, middle school, like, this is, like, 6th, 7th grade, like, way too old to be carrying around stuffed animals all day, but again, very childlike all the fucking time. So I'm carrying around my SpongeBob pillow pet to school with me all the time. And eventually teachers started to say, like, you can't have that in school anymore. So I decided to empty out my backpack, and so I'd have room for my SpongeBob pillow pet because nothing else is going to fit in there. And I'd put my pillow pet in there, and I would just unzip the backpack, and all you can see is his, like, squished face, like this much of his face coming out of the backpack, and it would just make me laugh hysterically, and then I'd close it again and just proceed with the day. And so I was doing that for a while, and then I would take it out on the bus because the bus driver never cared, and I was like, school's finally over, I could take him out. So I'd take him out on the bus, and I'd walk from the bus to my apartment every day and just carry him. And I had a friend that we'll just call Andy. Me and my friend Andy would walk from the bus home together because we lived very close to each other. And we both really liked SpongeBob growing up, so we'd always talk about SpongeBob on the way home And so one day he just decided to try to steal my SpongeBob pillow pet, and we're just yanking on this thing, fighting for it, and eventually the hat rips off and Andy just dashes home with the hat. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, my hat. And I'm asking him every day to give me my hat back so my mom can sew it back on. And I'm so angry that the hat is gone and that he stole my SpongeBob hat, and I never let him live it down. And flash forward to like high school. We're decent friends in high school. We're both really into art, and we're always doing art. And he's like an extremely talented artist. And then I remember asking him once, I think at this point it was like sophomore year, like, do you remember when you stole my SpongeBob hat? And he was like, oh yeah, I still have that. And I was just like, what the heck? So then after high school, he got into making tattoos, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's so cool. Like, a good friend of mine is now tattooing people. I need to get a tattoo from him one day. And I just didn't think much of that anymore. And then one day I was just laying in bed and I was about to go to sleep, and it hit me, and I had like such a good idea, and I texted him right away, and I was like, oh my gosh, Andy, I need a tattoo, and I know exactly what it's gonna be. So I decided to get the SpongeBob hat tattooed on me so that Andy could give me my hat back. And yeah, that's pretty much the story behind my SpongeBob hat. Again, super silly. And now I can go around and tell people I have 2 SpongeBob tattoos because that's how obsessed I am with this SpongeBob show. But I've also, like, growing up, I used to have dreams about like what I would look like as an adult. And I'd picture like just this badass person who like looks really ripped and has colored hair and has a sleeve of tattoos. So I've always just imagined myself like having a sleeve, and I just know that that's in my future. Like, I'm gonna be like tatted up. So I'm like, well, let's just get started. I don't have a lot of tattoos right now. I'm only at 2. I'll definitely make another video about it when I rack up some more tattoos. That's definitely in my plan, is to get that sleeve I've always dreamt of as a kid. But right now we're just at 2 SpongeBob tattoos. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and please like and subscribe if you enjoy this content, and I'll see you guys in the next one.